we celebrate the 43-year reign of the Speed Metal Kings, Metallica. 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And now, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Wednesday night is here once again, and that means it's time for another edition of Auburn Family Night. This is our show each and every week at E2C Network, where you, the Auburn family, take center stage. We're going to take everything that you want to discuss tonight, your comments, questions, and topics, and of course, your calls as well. All that's coming up right now. War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together. We sit down and we talk, share, discuss, whatever you want to say. We just make it about the Auburn experience, which is all about to us, Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Say it with me. If it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing this evening on Auburn Family Night. Love this live stream each and every week. It is about you, the Auburn family. You take center stage, and we're going to focus on the topics that you want to hit this evening, anything in the Auburn experience. So you guys get to be the puppet masters tonight, and I am the puppet. Let's see where you take the puppet tonight. Obviously, a lot to discuss and get into. Let me start first of all by acknowledging our sponsor for Auburn Family Nights during football season, Barner Supply, barnersupply.com. You want to check them out. This is just one of their designs as I knock the camera around there because I'm so excited about the new hat that I just got. I'm probably going to be releasing a reel of unboxing if I recorded it correctly this week sometime. So this is the new design. Well, it's been out for a little bit, the classic barn design. You've also seen me wearing hats like this with the Barner, the one with the logo down in the bottom left corner there, all kinds of stuff, not just hats, not just apparel. They got koozies, they got stickers, all kinds of stuff. Barner Supply is our proud sponsor for Auburn Family Nights, and we appreciate them being here and bringing to you guys the call-in link, which is now available. Go ahead and get in line for that now. Click the link up at the top of the chat, and you can take center stage tonight in the way that nobody else can at one particular moment by taking control of the call line and pretty much forcing me to let you talk about whatever you want to talk about this evening. Also want to start off by welcoming you in here, you, the audience. Thank you so much for so many of you that continue to show up each and every Wednesday night and making this a fun one and enjoyable one for me as well. I know it's enjoyable for you all, but certainly this is a show that I don't have to do a lot for in the sense of preparation. I just have to be ready and see where the shenanigans take us this evening. So as you're coming in, let us know that you're here. Certainly let us know that what you got on your mind, what's on your heart, your soul. You can bear it out here, and we'll dive into 1,000 different things tonight. Obviously, as the title says, we're talking and focusing primarily on Auburn finally heading back home to play in Jordan-Hare Stadium for Auburn football for the 2025 season. We have an exciting game that we got to take part in watching from afar, those of us that couldn't travel out there last week. But finally, we get to come home to the loveliest village on the plains, talk about it, discuss it afterwards. But we're excited right now for so many things that we're even going to talk about on the stream tonight that we've got happening for you in terms of live streams, things like that. I just don't know how I'm going to fit it all into a small window of time, how much things I've got to go to, grab pictures of, video of, create content for you guys on this. The first game, home game, is always just the most stressful for me because it is nonstop. When Sunday hits, I'm going to be exhausted, and I'm not even done with my week at that point. I got some family stuff we got to take care of on Sunday as well. And it's just going to be a wild week for me, but I'm excited. I know y'all are here. We'll get into some of your comments and questions. We got people like David and Linda. Good to see you checking in. So many familiar faces. Corey. I think that is Kevin actually calling in on Wanda's. We got Kevlar, Micah, Neil, all of you, Unbeaten Lake. So many of you guys checking in with us. We're going to get into it. Believe it or not, we actually have a caller who has beaten out our usual first caller of the evening, which is just wild. Something must be wrong in the world tonight if someone has beaten Kevin to the punch. So unfortunately, we won't be hearing from Kevin first tonight, but fortunately, we get to hear from somebody different tonight. Barbara, thank you for checking in with us. So let's go ahead and take our first call tonight, not waste any time. Hopefully you all will take advantage of that call and link by clicking on it. You can be on camera, off camera, your choice. But our first caller is Mr. Hunter. What's going on, sir?
Hey, sir, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. We ready for this weekend?
Man, I hope so, man. I'm gonna be there. I'll be up in the upper deck, right on the 50-yard line. I'm hoping we whip the brakes off of them.
What side of the are you going to be on the north? Excuse me, it'd be the east or the west. Do you know which side you're on?
I'll be on the home side. I'm not sure directionally what
that
is, but
technically that would be not technically, officially that would be the west side because the home team would be on the west side, the east side would be the guest side of that. So you're on the home side, and that's a side that I have frequented. I think technically my ticket is in the other end zone, but I also had an opportunity for a different ticket. So, but as I've said 1,000 times here, I'll be moving around a bunch of different places, getting shots and stuff. So just look out for me, anybody. But certainly, when we're out and about in the stadium, you might see me just flying by with a phone camera and all that stuff.
yeah, I'm hoping I see you, man. I've been wanting to meet you and get you to sign my hat because you're gonna make it big, whether you realize it or not. Be on like the locked on guys, but I wanted to ask you. So the Baylor game, I love the way it went. I'm sure most of the fan base did. We didn't really have to throw. We didn't really need to.
Right.
I really like Chu's game plan. What do you want to see as far as the strategy for offensive attack going into this week?
I think the strategy needs to be get the job done fast and get the new bodies in there immediately because we've already been banged up. And I know that's not necessarily a strategy, but I think really it is. I mean, whatever is going to get the job done, take it. We've got people right now that are wanting just us to sling the ball around, and I think we're going to be able to do that. If you haven't had a chance, take a look at the conversation we had with the Ball State guys. They are not high on their secondary whatsoever. So I think you are going to probably be able to attack that and get to see more of the wide receivers on display this weekend. But really, I'm actually wanting some of the other guys to take center stage because we're going to be talking about Eric Singleton, Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons all year. You know, I want to see Perry get some more time this year. In this game, I want to see Sam Turner. I want to see the Smith brothers if they're able to do that. I don't know what their plan for their eligibility is, but I want to see all of that, man. So my strategy, if I'm taking whatever they give us, and it's probably going to be both sides of the ball from what I've taken away from the Ball State conversation I've had. They're not very excited about this matchup. So I think it's take whatever it is, get the job done, get the new guys or the depth chart in there and save and heal up those guys and get them ready for the next game and the SEC game that's coming up.
I would agree. And I did some digging on Ball State. They played Purdue week 1. Mm-hmm. They gave up, I want to say, almost 400 yards through the air to what is, at least historically and recently, been a weaker Purdue team. They only rushed for like 93 yards. But I don't think they tried, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of looking forward to just putting up something on tape to worry these early SEC opponents. Because for right now, all they're going to know is, hey, they can't throw it deep, but they can run the ball down their throats. Like, I want to visually give them something current to where it makes it harder for them to game plan for us on offense. Like, do we stack the box? Are we going to run, quarters? Are we going to have a deep shell? Because, on paper, you can't stop us. How?
Yeah.
If we can do things appropriately and take care of the ball and be effective in each play, I just want to put as much on tape as we can for those opponents that are, projected to be better games, more difficult opponents, just to make it harder for them to game plan.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad strategy, but let me throw something your way here. Everybody knows that Auburn has good wide receivers. We just don't know how good they are really yet on paper, right?
Right.
So You could say that maybe if you can continue to win by just running the ball down someone's throat, which is not what they expect Auburn to do, you kind of leave this lingering fear and doubt out there about what might happen when they actually do go bonkers with the passing game. Now, listen, Ball State secondary might be so bad we not even have to try and they just look like world beaters, right? And that's kind of what it sounds like is going to happen based off my conversation with John and Colin last night, and that's out tonight. They're actually broadcasting it live right now, I believe. But I think you could play it both ways. It could be put as much on tape for them to prepare for, or it could just be that lingering, hey, we know they're good. We just don't know how good they are, and they haven't shown us yet. So what do we do? Do we key off of this run game that has just been destroying people? Or do we still kind of try to do what Baylor did and maybe think that our guys are a little bit more talented? Try to take away and keep all the receivers in front of us, and then attack that run game. Of course, it didn't really work for Baylor, but yeah, I think you could do it 1,000 different ways, though.
And man, Dave Miranda's a brilliant defensive mind, and I don't think people give him enough credit for him to be, at the level he is as a coach, and to continue to stay in that high shell. They ran a lot of cover 4 as well because they were terrified of our receivers beating them over the top. They were just willing to give up 6 and 7 yards of carry. I think that really speaks volumes. So ideally, I just want Jackson to prove, because there's doubts out there. We see it all over social media.
Sure.
Hey, can he throw from the pocket? Can he throw the deep ball? Can he throw it all? Apparently, people don't think he can do that in general. I want them to just showcase his talents just enough where we're like, oh crap, this is the real deal. And then I would love to see the Alvin Hendersons, the Amars, the Bryce Canes. I really do think we're going to rotate probably every guy in the skills position, rooms, the running back, the receivers. I would love to see some of these young guns at the offensive line, the transfers. Hell, even last week, we saw some of the younger guys on defense. Eric Winters played substantial snaps once Champ went down.
Yep.
I'd love to see some of these young guys, see what they really got. Like you said, stay fresh, give them some valuable experience. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. And you're going to see Eric Winters a lot by the sounds of it, according to Hugh Freeze on the SEC teleconference today, that he's the guy who seems to have earned that slot in that time, but he recognizes he's still young, and that could be a way for everybody to attack us right now until Champ gets back to full health. Listen, I want you to picture this. Omar Mabson gets announced coming into the game, maybe mid-third quarter, late third quarter, something like that, and that Auburn crowd just going bonkers because he is a hometown kid. Like,
I'm hoping so, man.
Just think about that. That kid has reclassified. I'm going to use the phrase that was used a lot last year. This kid should still be in high school, referring to other players. And just imagine the crowd just going nuts over the hometown kid who made waves in fall, coming in and getting to play a lot. I think that's what we all are kind of itching to see, if we're honest.
Do we think that Damari's going to get substantial play time, or do we think we're going to be more conservative with his shoulder?
According to Coach, what he said at the earlier press conference, that he is questionable even for the game right now, but I don't know what has transpired. He said they were going to monitor it throughout the week. If there is any question about Damari, I say don't play him.
I'd agree.
If there is, he needs to get out there and get a few reps, but let's be strategic with what situations we're putting him in. Maybe situations where he can bounce it to the outside and not be in the middle of a pile and be slammed down amongst, a bunch of big bodies to the ground. That's probably what my guess is you would see if he does play. But it will be fun to watch the rest of the room do what they did, because we know Jeremiah, boy, he can do some good stuff too.
Yeah, he's electric, man. He really is versatile. I'd be curious if he were to take the game off, who we would see kind of splitting those reps. Because I can't remember the transfer's name.
Darrell Robinson.
I'm not sure that he's healthy. Like, I know he had one carry in the Baylor game, but I'm not sure that he's 100%. And if he's not, do you risk further pushing back his, timeline that he can play? So I'm curious who we're going to see at running back 2.
The last word we got on his health, Coach said that he's fine. He's good to go. Now, of course, that could have changed over between the game and now. He is just kind of slowly coming along with some of the other aspects of responsibilities of being a running back at this level that he is having to work through. So I think right now, if let's just say Damari gets saved for his shoulder's sake, I think it is very simple. It's Jeremiah and Darrell's show until it doesn't need to be anymore. And maybe Alvin and Omar slowly get worked into the mix as well. It's very common to see three running backs rotate through there. Yeah, man, there's a lot of scenarios. I think that's the exciting thing about this home game, Hunter, is that there's so much on the table we could see. And I
I
think that's
agree.
very delicious if you think about it. Anything else for you this evening?
Last question. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna hog your stream.
No, you're good, man.
So let's say things do roll the way we think they're gonna do, and we can rotate all these young guys in. If we rotate an Ashton Daniels or a Deuce Knight, how much do you think we let them throw, or do you think we're gonna rely more on the running back room and just kind of bleeding clock?
You know, it seems like Hugh has a heart. So if it's as bad as the Ball State fans think it's going to be, according to the ones I've talked to, he may call the dogs off a little bit. But I think he knows that's what the fans want. And look, as Hugh has talked about even today on the SC teleconference, he recognizes the expectations on him on this program, and so he kind of needs to. I'm sure he recognizes he needs to give a little bit of something to the fans. So let Deuce Knight throw. Let Ashton do some things as well, and just kind of show that, hey, listen, I know y'all are all concerned about this Jackson Arnold guy for some reason, which is just weird to me at this point, because it's like people forget you have the opportunity to grow, change, get better, and improve as a player. I know it's a shocking concept, but it does happen a
Right.
lot. But here's the other guys that are, behind him. So even if you're worried about that, here's what we got. So a lot of opportunities this weekend.
Yeah, man, that's all I got. I really appreciate you letting me holler at you on the live.
Please do. Anytime you want to on this Auburn Family Night format, you are always fair game. So please continue to do so.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good to talk to you, Hunter. Have a good night.
You too, brother.
All right. Wiggle. All right. That was Hunter. We got a little picture of his face there at the end. Sorry about that, Hunter. I didn't know that was going to switch over to your face. I didn't know if you wanted that or not. Anyway, that's how it works. It's pretty easy. Great example right there. All you got to do is click on the link, and it will let you into the chat, into a little green room, and you can select if you want camera off, camera on. It doesn't matter to me. It's really what you're most comfortable with. No shame either way. And we always love hearing different people's perspectives. Once again, want to thank our friends at Barner Supply. This is the classic Barn logo. We've got so many other products. I got to remember it's over here. Down there is their main, probably most well-known logo, the Rising Barn is what I like to call it there. And you can get some great hats, other apparel, and Barn Hard. Take it back from the Bama fans that like to use that against us. He says, Hunter, I don't want people to judge me for being on a live while driving, so I went no camera. No judging. Absolutely not. We appreciate you being safe, but also taking the time to call into the show this evening. It's always good to hear from people. Kyle still can't pronounce the kicker's name right. I absolutely can pronounce the kicker's name right, but I refuse to because I butcher it and cannot be an adult about it right now. So I'm just going to continue to call him Hudson Cack. That's all he's getting from me. And I just have to do that for my own benefit at this point. Let's see here. Well, we're going to keep our focus on Auburn stuff, but I will entertain a little bit of this. We can't not, right? Because I know that's what a lot of you are itching to talk about. It's funny to see Gus take Bama out. I also laughed at the Bama fan that gave the middle finger to the camera on national television. Look, it's no shock that we are all reveling in Alabama's misery, just like they revel in our misery when it happens the opposite way. It's just been building up a lot over the last couple of years. And so I think most reasonable Alabama fans can understand you had it coming for a long time. But anyway, it's funny. It's fun. It's all good stuff. I literally haven't thought about it much after the game day, but I am so I'm happy for Gus as a big Gus Malzahn fan and apologist. And I'm happy to see him continue to show that he has relevancy still in the college football world. I don't know if we said hey to WT. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here. What else is going on? Was Micah and Neil getting after each other in the chat? Y'all don't need to do that. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat that we missed. This was a pretty lively chat while we were talking to Hunter, so I may have to skip ahead a little bit and see what you guys want to talk about that. Cam seemed to enjoy a lot less. A loss quite well. I got it. Sorry, I don't know why I was having struggles with that. Cam seemed to enjoy a loss quite well on the first take. Yeah, Cam got some good material to work with his first few times on there. He says, really, Kyle, you're a Gus fan? I never would have guessed. He's part of our history. I don't know why you wouldn't be a fan of him. Doesn't mean that there's not bad parts of our history, but he is far from a bad part of our history. That would be reserved for Harsin, for Sonny Galloway, for Tony Barbie, those type of names. That's the ones that we don't want to remember. But there are good things about the Gus, and certainly I will always talk about the wonderful, magnificent Gus Malzahn. All right. Yeah, I try to always keep it Auburn focused, but we'll bring these things up. He says Arch is overrated. I disagree. I think any overarching opinions, you see what I did there, about anything off of week one, Bama's not the so it's funny, I did get asked this week on the Ball State show, is the dynasty over in a quick rapid fire thing? And I said yes, but not the way it sounds. I think it's fun or funny when we try to like launch into these big opinions about the first week, and it can just change like that on a dime. We'll see how it all transpires, but it is funny to watch some of these storylines not come to fruition. Oh, listen, I got a man crush. I'm not lying, but my biggest man crush is Cody Burns. That's my man crush right there. That's the one I go after much. What else? All right. What Auburn topics do y'all want to discuss tonight? What do you got? What do we want to discuss? Tom says, now, if we beat the brakes off of Texas A&M, okay, sorry that you're missing the U. On the field, I might add, will you change your predictions? Well, what's the point of predictions if we don't maintain them, right? Like, there's no point in doing them if you don't keep them the same. I think. I mean, obviously, if I said this today on TikTok, if we get to 8 wins really quickly, then of course I've got to say, well, I was wrong, and like start guesstimating when it's going to be from there. But I think Texas A&M obviously, would be a big switch in my mind because I did predict a loss early. But my official prediction is my official prediction, and I got to see if I'm right or wrong on that. Do I crush more on Cody Burns or Cadillac Williams, my man crush? So it's interesting. I would, in my ranking of favorite players, Cadillac is always number one, but in man crush mode, it's probably Cody Burns more. That I love that man. I love his story. I love his heart. I love his Auburnness, his Auburn madness. And he takes center stage in that first part of the Unspoken 2010. I had to get it out there. My mind was stuck there for a second. So go watch that if you haven't. It's absolutely awesome. See, look, Neil knows Cody's a legend and always will be. He's amazing. Tim, good to see you. War Eagle, thanks for being here. Hunter thinks that Bryce Kane is criminally underrated, and I believe he will end up being one of the better slot receivers in Auburn history. I would love to see that. Certainly, he's not gotten as many opportunities. This doesn't mean that he's not working for it / not being given those opportunities, even if they're very few and far between. What I would say is it's a long college football season and injuries do happen or somebody's not getting the job done. So when that moment arises, Bryce needs to take full advantage of it, and he might see himself out there more and more over time. The cupboard is not bare in the wide receiver room for Auburn, no matter who you're talking about, what format you're talking about it, who gets utilized, when and where. Let's see here. A lot of conversations that aren't Auburn. Let's see here. I hope by beating Baylor, it gives all the players and coaches a lot of confidence going forward. I think it definitely, a win is confidence building, right? But to what degree? I think it was very challenging for them. I think there was a lot of pressure on all of their shoulders to live up to finally that third year of expectations that Hugh had set a few years back of when he felt like we would start being able to really see a difference. And they delivered on it. Was it perfect? No. Are there some big questions in some areas that we thought we were a little bit more secure? Sure. But it's one game. And so that's why I get the questions all the time. And I know it's just people not taking the time to really think out when they ask the question. But I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. There's nothing to be concerned about. There's nothing to be worried about. There's only things to be excited about right now. Would I ever do a postseason wrap up to see how the preseason, the 15th Oscars is panned out? I think we kind of do that in a sense. I don't know that we would do just a wrap up live stream just dedicated to that. I won't say no, Micah, but it's not something that we've ever really entertained. But I think it's all you have to do is go back and watch that video to see how wrong I usually am. Although last year I got yelled at because I predicted 8-4. Have you found out that may be my favorite prediction right now? And we ended up going far less than that. Like I had people screaming at me because I was underrating that what they thought the team was last year. And I was like, I don't know if we're there yet, guys. I don't know if we're there yet. Do you think questions, Hunter? I'll be a little bit looser here on that. Do you think Keldrick Faulk goes over 10 sacks this year? He's got what, one to start off the year, the one that finished off that was a sack. He's off to a good start, and if we're counting in the postseason potentially, for a bowl game at least, he would probably pass that. Corey says, I don't think we have enough of a sample of what the offense can really do. Absolutely agree. Couldn't have stated it better myself. Small sample sizes don't tell you the full story. Do you think most schools going to know tackling practices preseason affects the first game in tackling? So many schools look bad tackling in game one. I think you're going to find that's the case in game ones, regardless of whether we are not tackling or tackling less. If you go back to game ones, every year it's a sloppy thing. It's either really sloppy or you are so much better than the other person if you're playing someone you shouldn't, or playing someone that you should beat really bad. It just gets masked by that, and it shows up later. I don't think that there's really that big of a difference in trying to save people as maybe is the trend now, WT. I think it's just game one in general. You're figuring things out. People are amped up. They're ready to lay a mega hit on somebody, and they don't form tackle or wrap up or hang on, all that kind of stuff. Oh, you want a YouTube video? I'll think about it. It's not really something I've ever really done. And when I get a request, just to kind of be very transparent about these, I always want to honor, especially people that spend a lot of time here, but I also have to balance what do I think would do well. Unfortunately, the thing is that's not really something that I've found people really want to watch in droves, and you kind of have to factor in what content you're putting out there that won't do as well. And since we try to be a content company that does a lot of stuff that people aren't as attracted to in the numbers, such as some of the other sports, the smaller sports as well, that people would say smaller sports, you kind of have to factor that in. It's also a time when basketball is starting to really garner a lot of interest, and so you kind of have to shift that over there. So I'm not saying no, Micah. It's just not something that I at this current time where I am sitting don't see a lot of value in, but I'm not saying no as well. Having two Falks on the field in the future will be confusing to begin with. I hope it happens this year. I don't know that we're going to get a chance to see it next year. Just take that for what you will. I think there's a bright future for both of them, and a brighter future for one of them past Auburn right now. This is from Kevlar. He says, I think as does others, Auburn will try to feature the passing game more this game. Do you think Jackson Arnold gets over 200 passing yards? You'll have to come to the preview show tomorrow to find out. Seriously, I do save those for Thursday nights because that is the preview and prediction show. We had a pretty decent crowd last week too, so thank you guys for showing up. I was a little bit worried that there wouldn't be any interest, and it took a little while for everybody to get there. I know some of you have probably developed the habits. Well, he spends a little bit of time at the beginning, just going through some facts and things. I don't really need to be there for that. I'm going to try to quicken that pace up. So try to be there as early as you can tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to get rolling with that and do that as much as we can. Hunter says they just moved the younger Falk from outside linebacker to edge rusher as well. Is that official? Was that official in the depth chart and I missed it? And what's funny about that, if true, Hunter, Keldrick Falk was listed at edge rusher and they moved him over to true defensive end. It's edge rushing regardless, right? But that's kind of a funny trajectory they both have had, which tells you that they have a lot of versatility. It also tells you we might have more of a need to have him there in the depth chart at that position. But you don't just do that unless it'll work out well, right? If you just throw somebody over there and they're not have the skill set to be successful there, it doesn't really matter. This is to what WT said. The no tackling practices take a toll on the health in games. Players' bodies not being used to the hits as much. I think all of these things are true. It's just to what degree. We're really just speculating. There's not really a study to show you, all right, hey, tackling or less tackling in preseason leads to more missed tackles at this point. I mean, somebody can probably figure out the research there. Just go take the time to look at all the game film. But you also probably would need a lot more research to show there were more injuries like game 1 and 2 after the tackling in preseason as well. I think it's always a what degree of truth. These aren't bad opinions to have. I think we just need some more facts on it. This is from Tim. Has anyone found a recording of the entire Baylor game? I did a search on YouTube and only found highlights. I think they're starting to really crack down on people that used to tape and put those up. I always have to be very careful with what content we do utilize. We always give credit where it is deserved, but rightful. But I think YouTube and especially Facebook is really starting to crack down on that type of stuff. So you got to have the rights to it to be able to do that type of stuff. That may be why. Could also be that it was on Fox. Maybe there's some special thing there that they can't do. But the highlights are really, let's be honest, the highlights are really what you need, right? Unless you're really wanting to do a deep dive yourself into things. No apologies necessary, Neil. But we'll be happy to see you there this week. This is from Corey. The only improvement I would really need to see is the secondary. That made me sick to my stomach seeing all the catches from Baylor. It's sickening when you see a lot of catches in general happening on a group that was very highly thought of at preseason. It's another reason you don't build these narratives until you actually see it out there in the field, because then it doesn't affect you as much. But when it happened so consistently over the middle, right underneath the safeties or the corner following in man coverage, that was very frustrating to watch happen time and time again. And it wasn't just third in Auburn. It was fourth in Auburn. And so that is a frustration, but certainly it's only one game. Amaris Williams did not obtain much on the stat sheet, but he absolutely brutalized whoever lined up across from him last week. He's a powerhouse and will be special. Part of that is because he got injured. Thankfully, he got to come back in. I wasn't aware of that at the time, but Coach clarified that at the press conference this week. I was really worried for a guy that, tried to leave, was allowed and decided to come back in the offseason. Obviously, there's a lot of value in him if you want to and are able to bring him back into the fold. I was like, well, we went through all that effort and he's about to be injured for a portion of time, if not longer. And thankfully he's okay. And I'm thankful he's okay outside of that, but you know what I mean, as someone who analyzes the team. Micah says things like the games and stuff are IP for those teams and schools, and YouTube especially takes that very seriously now in the past couple of years. Yeah, there's been some gray areas on that. Some people can put them out there without monetizing it, and that's okay. But what did we use? I used something recently, and we didn't get like a bad mark about it, but we got like a notice. Hey, we noticed this is in there. What was it? I'm Trying to remember. Oh, it was the Cam Newton thing, and that's so like old now that everybody's reusing. You'd think, oh, it doesn't matter, but no, they're really cracking down on it. Neil says Auburn made Baylor one-dimensional. Baylor could not run the ball. There was a lot of talk about Washington too. That was his last name, right? A lot of talk about that. You wonder too, maybe losing that backup running back paid off more for Auburn. That being Baylor's backup running back than we thought. Maybe he could have brought in a change of pace back. I'm not really familiar with their thing, but maybe that was part of it. Regarding the success Baylor had throwing, I believe two things can be true. One, Trigg is that good. Yes. Two, we failed to adapt on defense. I don't know that. I think it's easy to say we failed to adapt. In the results, yes. I think Durkin has proved that he is very good at adapting, and maybe he adapted too much and they figured out how to work around it. But I like that you point out that two things can be true at the same time. So I can get on board with that line of thinking. Baylor's quarterback threw for over 400 yards and still could only manage 24 points. Ponder that. Yeah, you'd think they'd have a few more, wouldn't you? It says a little bit of something about the defense. This is from Unbeaten Lake. I just bought a Cam Coleman jersey. If he starts to struggle, you can blame me for jinxing him. Absolutely. We are marking it down right here. It is, you are to blame from this point forward. So we know where, I was going to say patient zero, but it's not really a sickness or something, but maybe it is. Maybe other people's struggles have been because of you. All right, everybody, say it with me. She's here. What's cooking, Devin? I'm so happy we've been doing that now. I saw that in the yesterday's stream, and I was like, yes, we've got something going here. This is going to turn into War Dustbuster. There we go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Very nice. Very nice. All right. I missed a couple things here. Let me go back up. Micah says, I just want to give a shout out to Fox and ESPN for saying to heck with the fight for viewers to show Corso's last pick showed just how much of an impact he had. It's one of those rare moments in rivalries or competition, business competition, that you just step aside and you go, we can allow this. Now, having watched both broadcasts, obviously they did their own cameras and stuff like that. I guess I kind of assumed that they were going to allow the ESPN broadcast to come in, but it was obviously a separate one, but it still was the same thing, just different angles technically. A legend is gone. Which backup are you looking to shine in trash time these next two games? I would like to see Bryce Dees, Elijah Melendez. One I'm forgetting it, and I shouldn't be forgetting him. A lot of those young linebackers, I'm really wanting to see what they can do in the trash time, as you call it. Let them get a lot of reps. Lots of what's cooking, Devin. No, Dustbuster's not back. I don't think we banned that dude. Maybe I did, actually, because what he wrote was extremely inappropriate. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it sent like Clint to his knees, essentially. Like he nearly fell out of his chair when that happened because it was so bad. So bad. But no, he has not made an appearance. But Clint was on last night. This is from Tim. Baylor has a great quarterback and receivers and will throw for yards on everyone they play. Our busted assignments are a concern, but we are good inside the 20, and a turnover on downs is a turnover. Yes, it is. People forget about that. All right, we'll get back to questions and comments here, but also want to take the opportunity whenever we can to remind you of Barner Brand, just another one of their new designs. Y'all know I love trucker hats. Check them out, barnersupply.com. Links in the profile. Once again, this is how affiliate marketing works. If you shop through our link that we have, obviously, if you buy something, you support a great Auburn company, but you support us as well. So we'd appreciate you doing that. But we'd also just encourage you just to go check them out on your own. Barner Supply is a great way to show off your barnitude, if that's a word. I'm trying out new words with barn, and take that back from the Auburn fans. Barn hard, barn out, whatever you want to say. Be a Barner. We're excited to have them partner with us on Auburn Family Nights during football season. Let's see. I did ban him. I think it was just like an instinct. Like I can't have that here again. It was so disgusting. It was wild. Okay, we got several confirming that remember that moment. What a moment in E2C network history. And it wasn't even on this show. It was on a show where we had an agenda. Clint was here. We were just trying to cover a specific topic that he's an expert in, and we can't even have that. I'm going to quote something. If some of you listen to a certain radio show, you can't have nothing. One of my favorite sayings out there because it's so true. You just can't have nothing. Let's see here. We about took the head off the Baylor center at that point, and I knew our defense wanted to make a statement up front. Yeah, they certainly did. Certainly did. Yeah. When Clint gets to laughing, it makes me laugh as well. War Eagle Felix, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Clint brings the gutter to the program. I'll let him know you said that, or you should remind it next time he's here. I'm sure we'll have him on here plenty of time throughout the season and throughout the athletic year. I think right now we're planning to do a winter sports uniform concept if they do a reveal just like they did with the fall sports. We've talked about it at least. We both have been sitting on that Yellowwood announcement. We've known about it for a long time. I think I've probably been privy to it for over a month now. And so that, I think even he kind of said it last night. That was the last of the things that we were anticipating. Do a hockey jersey live stream? What do you mean? Just like have a live stream of nothing but me holding a hockey jersey? Hey, Neil, I'm serious about this. And let me see if you like my line of thinking. And I don't understand the logistics of this. So if you know your way around Auburn, you know that the main athletic offices where the football team used to practice and all that stuff is now it's across the ravine over there at the Wutzel, however you say it, facility. You have the old indoor facility, which is where they now let others practice, and they have events in there, just like the surplus sale. I didn't think you'd have me bring that back again, did you? I think they should utilize that space to turn into a multi-purpose facility, training facility, but also event facility. I think you've got enough room there to make a true indoor track and field situation so that we can actually host an indoor track and field meet here. First, they need to invest in improving the outdoor field because it is in bad repair, and I've seen it for myself recently. Maybe they've done something over the summer that I'm not aware of, but it's bad. On top of that, make it convertible and let's put a hockey rink in there. What do we think? Or something that can be turned into a hockey rink, and let the Auburn club ice hockey team have their games in matches in Auburn and not in Columbus. Today, let's make that happen. I just think it needs to be done. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Clint is without a doubt the best guest you've ever have. Yes, the best guest you ever have on. So much information. Well, Austin appreciates that. I guess you don't consider him a guest, though. I think that's what you're saying. He's a co-host, so he's the honorary one here. Let's see here. Auburn will turn it into a giant pickleball court, but you could do that too. This is a multi-purpose facility with seating around it. You can put the indoor track and field situation in the middle of it. Also have enough convertible space to turn it into an ice hockey rink. And then whatever else you want to do for some of the club teams and stuff, because it's very close to all of the intramural fields and things like that. It's not far from where the track and field locker rooms are anyway, too. I think it would make a good thing. Corey says he's a guest until he gets on more than once a week. Wow, Austin's getting burned tonight. Now, listen, Austin Scott and I would love for him to be on every single day with me, but he has what people would call a real job, and he is notably a busy guy right now too. So it's a lot of stuff going on in his job. So I would love for him to be here more often, but we're just thankful we have him here when we can. All right, let's get some more calls. And if you haven't taken advantage of it, please do. Call-in link is available to you. It's really easy. Just click on it. Pop in, just say hello. Let's get the muscle memory going this year for it. Would love to have some of you take advantage of that, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. YouTube, it's available pinned at the top. Facebook, it's up at the top of the comments. And Twitter, you have to come over to YouTube. That's probably the easiest thing to do regardless anyway. Let's see here. More Alabama talk. Does the Montgomery Mall doesn't exist as you know it. The Eastdale Mall is what you're thinking of, Corey. Have a rink. Would be cool to see Auburn play there. Yeah, and the problem is they would get a big crowd, and it's not really set up to handle crowds. It's not a bad idea. I think there should just be something with the city of Auburn. They need a ice rink for recreation. I mean, I think it would be utilized heavily, and then the club team can play there, and people would show up for it. I've got some of the dates written down on when we did that show about the best weekends to come to Auburn. 2 episodes ago, I think is what it was. I've got some of the dates on there because I just want to see if it's worth me trying to get over there to see one of their games. It would be worth it. It's just a lot of travel. Let's see here. Austin and Clint do make the show more fun. Thanks, Kevlar. No, I recognize that. I'm always sensitive to that. I know that y'all have to see me and hear from me and hear my opinions a lot. So I am trying to bring in those perspectives when we can to change things up a little bit. And I know different voices and different opinions definitely make that special and worthwhile. Auburn needs to pour more money into hockey. It's a great sport. Well, they got to actually make it an NCAA sport for them first. I don't think they're going to really pour much into it until it is that. Micah says the issues with hockey. I didn't think we were going to get on the Auburn hockey run here, but that's what we do on Auburn Family Night. The issues with the hockey is the storage and maintenance of the rink. It's a lot, and that I'm sure we might not be privy to. Oh yeah, I recognize that. And that's why I said my idea about a combined multi-purpose facility of getting the track and field an indoor facility, making it usable to convert into an ice hockey rink probably isn't feasible. But hey, Auburn engineers can do anything, man. Get on it right now. Hunter, great question. It is not a specific color weekend. It is fan choice. And I think when Austin and I first got that announcement, I think it was back like in April of when they announced the color games, we really liked that because one of the biggest complaints that was out there was, I always have to, plan around this or else I feel like, I just don't want to have to feel obligated to do it. I know people that are just obstinate about it. I'm not going to do it just because they asked. I like that they have a fan choice once, if not twice this year. So you do what you want to do. You can wear purple if you want to, but people will think you're an LSU fan and it's your loss. So don't do that. Does NIL factor into club sports too? I wouldn't think so because NIL directly it has to go through the NCAA and all that stuff. I wouldn't. Corey, that's a great question. My guess is no, but I don't have all the information on that. All right, you got another caller ready here. We'll get him here in just a second. Let's see if we can catch up. How many Auburn fans do you think will be calling for a new coach when Auburn basketball does not have the stellar record of last year, the best season in Auburn basketball? The only ones that will try to clamor and have some dissension against Hugh Freeze are those that disagree with him politically and some religiously as well, that are kind of sitting on that and waiting on that to happen. And that's pretty sad, but I don't think he's in danger of that anytime soon. I'd love to see a completely orange stadium. I don't think you're ever going to get a completely one color stadium. Auburn fans are just not known for that, but it would be cool to see. I grant you that. All right, let's get our next caller in here and hear some different perspectives. Felix, what's going on, sir?
Oh, not much, Kyle. What's going on with you?
I am just sitting here counting. I was counting down the days and the hours last week, and just for the first game, now I'm counting down the days and the hours so I can go back home because it is time for us to be back on the plains, my man.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, so excited to see the passing game. I mean, I realized we had to do what we had to do, and I
Right,
mean, and everybody's getting on. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like we can't make everybody happy. I
right,
mean, Arnold did exactly what he was supposed to do. Pull it down. I mean, he didn't see the good read, the yes no or whatever that is, or however they put it. But now they're all getting on him about not not putting a passing game in it. I mean, look, they was getting them giving them the run the whole time. I mean, what else do you want to do? Just throw it in the Billy Willie? You know what I mean?
yeah. I think some people are so really those type of people that are just mad that they didn't get to see and are starting to build these narratives now that something's wrong, are just mad because they've the ones been talking about it all season and saying you're going to see this, and when it didn't happen, they're trying to figure out, was like, what did I get wrong, that kind of stuff, and over kind of compensating the other way. The passing is going to come, and I'm not going to say that it's going to be amazing because I don't know that yet, but I
Yeah,
think he's going to do well. I'm just happy that the guy went to, what do they always tell you? Why would you run through a wall if there's a way around it?
no,
Take what is given to you, take the what is the easiest path forward. And if they're just going to sell out to stop the passing game, which kudos to you for trying, and you, I mean, you didn't stop
yeah.
it
I mean,
completely, but just run over them at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. I mean, and it was just so irritating that with the everybody, I guess, and not Auburn, I'm not the Auburn fan base, but well, a few of them, but not many. But I'm just saying, like the SEC, the big, the big to dos and all that stuff. But they was acting like they didn't see what they wanted to see. They're talking about our big Cam Coleman and all that, and what we bought what we got through the NIL and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But they would come in. Actually, they come in through high school. Actually, right? We got them through high school. It was just NIL that we kept them. Thank God that But
yeah,
anyway, I mean, like I said, the passing game will come, and I think this week and next week, the South Alabama game and Ball State game, we'll be able to see a lot of it. And I'm kind of thinking that we might see Deuce and Ashton. I mean,
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
After we get a pretty good lead, I wouldn't want. The one thing is I don't want Jackson to get hit a bunch. That's my thing. I don't want to get hit a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's just like Hunter asks, I don't know if you were here for that part of the show when he called in, what would your game plan be? Mine has less to do with like the X's and O, but whatever you got to do to get the points up fast, to put this thing well out of hand so that you can just play everybody else. In my perfect world, everyone that is eligible to play, that is, that we're not trying to save for some reason in terms of red shirt already, and you don't want to just use up a game because they get 4 games just to use one up, get them out there. I want
Absolutely.
every single person to have reps because
Yep.
it could be the next moment that the guy goes down and you got to be ready. So then in my perfect world, and let's be honest, Felix, we've watched too many games the last several years where Auburn should have put somebody away in the second quarter and didn't do it.
Yep.
So put them away. Let's get to work and let's see these other people that have just arrived at Auburn or have been buried in the depth chart and need some more reps and opportunities. That's my game plan. And
That
that's
Georgia
what I
State
hope for.
game keeps on coming in my head every time you say somebody says anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think I can't remember his name. The damn
TJ,
yes,
TJ,
that's it. TJ had to
TJ
come in
saved
and
us.
save us. Yes, I mean, and that I mean that's one of the things like you just said. That's a scary moment for I'm not saying they're horrible, but they're not on Auburn's level. I mean, I hate to say I'm sorry,
You're not
but
lying. I mean,
I mean, seriously, man, for them to catch up on us like that, and for somebody to come in, fresh arm, fresh legs, and to give us, a way out, man, it just that was horrible. That was horrible. I was so tense, man. You can, I mean, seriously, man.
That was
But
the
anyway,
game.
yeah,
That
I
that was
mean,
the game. I was sitting with my cousins a lot that year because they had lived in Auburn at the time, and I'd just go find them. And at that point, everybody thought Auburn was going to lose. But I do this thing with my rally cap is I turn. Like I can do it with one of the Barner caps here. So I turn. It'll just be a lot to take all this off. My cap, push in the back right there. I don't know if you can see
right.
it or not, but then just do this kind of
Yeah,
thing like that.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
rally cap.
yeah,
My
yeah. That's
cousin,
it.
my cousin's the biggest cynic, and he's like, Kyle, that's so stupid. You look like an idiot. We're already losing this game. Why are you doing this? And then we came back and won. I did it again in the game, and it came back and won again. And he's like, Kyle, whip it out right now. Like, just go ahead and
You know,
I need the hat to
that's
come
right.
out, the magic of the hat to come out right now. So
Tell you, that's the rally cap, man. That's it. That's how my pop taught me a long time ago when I was a kid. And was watching that Braves. He was a big Braves guy whenever he was alive, and we always like every now and then, like maybe the seventh inning, he he'd put his hat just like that. It was so funny, but
yep, that's what I
yeah,
do.
I mean, like I said, we should have a pretty good bit. But thing is I see that Oklahoma's going to play Michigan. And God help me, I hate to say this, but I hope Michigan gets the brakes off of them. I really do. I mean, I'm dead serious, man. I mean,
Listen,
I
there's
don't want
nothing wrong with
nobody.
that.
I mean, I don't want nobody to get harmed or hurt or anything like that. But kind of knock out a couple of them Sooners, man. It'd be great. That'd be great.
Listen, I am not a rah-rah SEC guy. I know it's counterproductive for for the sake of the reputation of the conference, and thus it hurts Auburn in some way,
Right.
people say. And I agree with that, but I don't care on the emotional side. I want every SEC team to fail every single week. Like
Yeah.
that's just me. You don't have to be that way, or anybody else in the chat. You don't have to be that way. I know it's petty, but that's what I am. I want every single SEC team to lose every single game because you're my rivals. Why would I want you to succeed? I don't want you to succeed.
I want you to lose every game.
Yes,
I
that's
want
right.
you to lose every game.
Every game that you possibly can, especially the most embarrassing ones. So that's what I want.
And speaking of embarrassing, we seen the people up the street from us kind of get embarrassed this weekend, huh?
A little quiet this week, hasn't it?
The
It's been a little.
Gus Bus kind of got a little diesel fuel in it this week.
Yeah, all these jokes about the Gus Bus lost its wheels and stuff. Gus Bus ain't lost its wheels. It still knows how to beat Alabama.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was happy, man. And they got. I think Freeze had said something about that during his interview, I believe.
He
And
did the probably not politically correct, just the correct way or just the nice
right.
way of saying it. He smiled and chuckles, and you know what that smile and chuckle
Yeah,
means.
that's right.
And he made it more about being happy for for Gus.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you knew what he was thinking when he started chuckling about that.
I love it, man. I love it, dude. If you can't give him one way, give him another way.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
But
Well,
anyway, like I said, thank you so much for having me, man.
yeah, anytime. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir.
All right, War Eagle.
Good night. War Eagle.
All right, 2 great calls this evening. We still got, well, it's 10 o'clock already. Wow, that flew by. I can take another one if anybody would like to just pop in and give it a try, especially if it's not something that you've tried before. Promise it's not that difficult, but I'll leave it open for just a few more minutes here. We got some questions and comments from you guys. That flew by this evening. Let me take this time once again to thank our sponsor for Auburn Family Night, Barner Supply. Check them out, folks. BarnerSupply.com. I used to call them Barner brand because they are brand, but it's BarnerSupply.com. This hat that I'm wearing, the classic barn, as we've been talking with you guys throughout the stream, just some of the other cool hats and designs that they have, different styles, trucker hats. I love trucker hats so much. Different stickers, Barn Hard, if you can see that one on there. Just Barner right there, and then the rising barn, as I love to call it. Koozies, other kinds of apparel and shirt. If you like that powder blue baseball jersey they put out some this week, shop through our link in the description. We really appreciate them partnering with us during football season. Matthew's a good Auburn dude who runs Barner Supply, and we really, really like them. All right. Yeah, good call, definitely. And you didn't talk my ear off. Listen, here's the thing y'all all need to understand. You make my job easier when you call in because I get to sit back and listen to you for a little bit and just chill. But it's a good call. So thank you so much for taking the time to do tonight. Let's see what you guys had while we were talking. Yes, thank you for correcting my misspeak. If I said freeze. I meant pearl, but it probably could be applied the same way there. And what I was commenting about then. Yes, Kyle needs the Uber money. Somebody needs to go figure out what game it was if we didn't figure it out already, so people can go watch that classic moment. Hunter said earlier, if Hugh exceeds the generalized expectation of 6 to 7 wins and turns it into a 10-plus win season, do you foresee AU offering him more money and extending the duration of his contract to lock him down long term? It wouldn't shock me. I think, once again, there's a lot of context around that 10-win season that needs to be had before I kind of know really how I would feel about that. I think his contract's for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be right about the time to renegotiate. So I bet you would probably see something to that effect. I think you got your answer, Devin. I don't think that they have ever done a color. Maybe they have a color preference for fans at the Iron Bowl. But listen, you just never know how that's going to go for the Iron Bowl. Even if there was one, people could be all about it because they're with their families and maybe more planning's going on. I don't know. I don't know if that would work well or not. Let's see here. What else? What flavor wings am I cooking? Well, I ain't cooking nothing on game day because I'm going to be busy. So whatever wings are out there that people want to offer me, y'all let me know if that was a different question that maybe y'all were asking Devin. Oh, we just put Blanco by Meat Church on the wing. So y'all were asking Devin. I should have known this. Y'all were talking to the What's Cooking lady. Let's see here. Anything else in the chat? You rocking that barn hat? Listen, I love this thing. And can I be honest with you? And Matt, I love everything you guys do, but this is still going to be my favorite. The one that's down there. I love the rising barn, as I call it. But the more I wear this thing tonight, it's becoming my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe because, because as you can tell, it's a barn, but it's obviously making an A as well, the classic A barn. I don't know. I love it. I love it so much. So very thankful we get to partner with them and work with them. So y'all please do support them when you can. And just make sure you purchase through our link. And if nothing else, make sure when you purchase something that you bought it through because you heard it from here at E2C Network. Anything else this evening? Any other people want to call in? I'll close down the phone lines. Let me give you guys what to anticipate the rest of the week while we look for final questions, comments, topics, any last-minute calls that we're getting in about that time. As you know, when we have home games, it's a busy week, busier than normal. We have had a stream almost every night this week. We had Clint last night with what's new in Auburn's football field and uniforms so far. So go check that out if you haven't. You were here this evening. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Auburn, Ball State preview prediction show. Please come check it out. Join us. We're still kind of evaluating if we're going to keep doing this. We had a good response last week, so I know this is not one of those where the predictions are going to be as exciting, but that's why we do more than just score predictions. We do trying to figure out what is this team going to do offensively, defensively, special teams, and then we'll leave some time for hanging out and Q&A at the end as well. Live streaming Tiger Walk. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Auburn every year throws me a curveball with some things about I'm not anticipating. I don't foresee there being any problems with this stream, but there's something in my gut telling me I'm going to have to be ready to kind of shift from my normal plans. So sorry, I had to get a little drink there. My throat was dry. Just always know those streams are tentative with connection, other things going on, but our goal is to live stream Tiger Walk. So make sure you join us live if you can't be on the loveliest village on the plains. Post-game show. Obviously, we're planning on winning this game. Either way, it will be an hour. If it was a loss, it'd be about an hour or so after the game. I really don't know what time I'm going to get this stream going, folks, because I will be at Toomer's Corner capturing all of that for the very first time this season as a home game. So if you can stay up with me, it'd be great. I would love to see you there. Post-game show from the mobile broadcast studio, a.k.a. my car. As soon as we can, I'll try to keep the Conquer Club updated as much as possible. We got a Sunday night. We've got the Auburn Experience. I will be doing this most likely from a different location, so there could be some schedule things that may have to alter slightly just there's some shenanigans. So as I'm kind of letting you guys know, with the busyness of this week and weekend, things could be be in the tentative nature, but we've got a lot to look forward to on the first home game weekend of this season. Let's see. Barner needs 2 silos in the background, making it look like an AU. So I don't know if you're on social media. I don't think you are. I don't think you are on X, WT. But if you are, you definitely need to go and suggest that to him, because I don't want to take credit for that, because he needs to know about that. He may have thought about it. And that's an outstanding idea. Outstanding. Kyle, in the future, will start wearing his trucker hat, starting the show off with Jerry Reed, eastbound and down, right? Down and bound. I vaguely know what you're referencing here, Corey. It's just literally going right over the barn right here. Just a little bit. How do you see the Oklahoma game turning out now with their quarterback and Jackson going back to back? I haven't even begun to look at that one, Felix, yet. To be honest with you, that's usually my MO. I don't really see any point in forming opinions about that until game week. So much can change, because we could be sitting here talking about it, and knock on wood, both quarterbacks could be hurt. It can happen. Don't want that. Don't need that to happen, but it certainly is a possibility. So I haven't even begun to think about it yet. And that's going to be my story throughout the rest of the season. I really just take it every week as it comes, and don't really think too far in the future, because so much can change. And I think we as a fan base too have a fandom in general, not just Auburn fandom, has a tendency to look too much past what's in front of them right now. So that's just the way I approach it. I'm not saying everybody has to do it. I just haven't really even thought about them. The only time that I think about Oklahoma is when we're on TikTok, and their very interesting fan base shows up a lot in our chat. And I anticipate it to get even more wild and crazy as we get closer to that time period. Okay. Great show from you guys tonight. I say great show because you guys are the show this evening. I'm just here facilitating, giving you the space to do it, but you make Auburn Family Night what it is. Thank you once again for spending some time with us. We'll be back again next week. You guys are the best little family within the Auburn family, and I do mean that. Thank you once again for being part of our family. Until we get the chance, I should say, to talk to you again. War Eagle.